أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام را تلك آيات الكتاب المبين إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون. نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين. إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت أحد عشر كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين.
صدق الله العظيم.
I would like to acknowledge our Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Yusuf Kamis Al-Mabsali, our Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, Dr. Fatma Al-Harti, and of course, our Head of the Center, Dr. Salim Bani Araba, the HOS, Ms. Jihad, and Mr. Salim. Also, I would like to acknowledge our keynote speaker, Professor Ali Al-Isa, our guest speaker, Dr. Justin James, and our presenters, both internal and external. Good morning. I would like to start this program by showing you a photo of the world's famous ship. A plethora of speakers and academicians to one platform. We introduce and share a culture of reflective practice and action research about using technology in ELT classes during the pandemic, and we contribute to advancing action research in ELT and in Oman. To help us get started, let us hear a welcome message from Ms. Turema Al-Shabibi.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, all. On the behalf of the ELC in the University of Technology and Applied Sciences in Ibra, I have the great pleasure to welcome you all to the first National Symposium on Post-Pandemic ELT. I am happy to welcome most especially our keynote speaker, Professor Ali Al-Isa, a professor of Applied Linguistics at Sultan Qaboos University. I would also like to extend our welcome to our guest speaker, Dr. Justin James, an e-learning coordinator at the University of Technology and Applied Sciences in Nizwa. We would like to sincerely thank you for honoring our invitation in spite of your busy and tight schedule. I believe that it's very much safe to say that the COVID-19 outbreak has utterly changed the teaching and learning game. It truly provides teachers and students with a fair set of unprecedented challenges that had to be dealt with post-haste. That on its own cultivated a much-needed culture of reflective practices and an analytical approach to the educational process. We gather here today to share these experiences, reflections, and solutions. This symposium aims to provide a platform to share this culture of reflective practices and action research that is connected to using technology in ELT classes during the pandemic. So without further ado, I welcome you all to this symposium. Thank you.
To hear a message from our keynote speaker, it is my honor to introduce our keynote speaker. Professor Ali Al-Isa is currently a full professor of critical applied linguistics at the College of Education, Department of Curriculum and Instruction at Sultan Qaboos University. He is also the president of TESOL Oman. He has Master of Arts in Education, TESOL, from the University of London and a PhD in Education, Applied Linguistics, from the University of Queensland, Australia. He has extensive experience in teaching English at different levels and for different purposes, and training teachers in general and English language teachers in specific. He has published and presented about critical English language education policy and planning and teacher education in Oman. He is also a recipient of several national and international awards and recognitions for his research and teaching. Today, he will lead us in looking at the sketching of radical teacher professionalism at Sultan Qaboos University. Friends, let us welcome Professor Ali Al-Isa.
Rahim, probably I should go multilingual here, yeah? So I will say Salam Alaikum, and I will also say good morning, and I will also say Namaste, and I will also say Bonjour and Buongiorno and Good morning and whatever. But I mean, look, I mean, we have a beautiful collection of multilinguals here today, and it's fascinating to meet with you, really. I mean, this awful COVID-19 cut us into pieces. We were completely dismembered, talking most of the time, if not all the time, to robots and getting no response. Fascinating. Yet we managed, as who was speaking earlier today? Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a sinking ship, a Titanic. I don't know whether it is still sinking. Well, he started it, and I'm going to carry on from there and probably finish it off today. Being a critical applied linguist, it's just too difficult, really, not to be critical. But then let's see how critical we can go today with all that, yeah? I mean, as you can see from the title here, I don't know, will this screen width be able to accommodate everything? The guys at the very back, can you see whatever? You sure? Okay. All right. Well. Okay. The sketching of radical teacher professionalism. Some of you may think, yes, the use of the word radical, are we going political today? Or the hell we are. We're going political, we're going socio-political, we're crossing a few sensitive boundaries together today. Yes.
switch the microphone to this?
That will be great. Yeah, I don't want to stick to this.
Yes, here you go.
As we are going political, socio-political, socio-economic, we are actually exploring all those terrains together today. But they are also narrating. Yeah. I feel pampered today. To explore this together. So let's unearth it and see what we have here, yeah? First things first, I need to thank, obviously I need to thank IBRA, College of Technology, for their invitation, very generous, very kind. Look at that, they tried very hard this morning to feed me so much. I resisted that. I know what they were trying to plan, so it didn't work with me. And obviously, Dr. CK, where is the guy? He took care of everything. I mean, to my humble knowledge, from A to Z, the invitation. He even promised to find me a second wife in IBRA. And I'm waiting eagerly. Hey, you cannot break a promise now. It's public, okay? All right. Fine. What are the aims of the talk? We need to be clear on this so that you get into the mood of everything with me then, yeah? Let's look at the aims. We have 5 of them. Let's see whether they make any sense to you. Okay. You read that. I'm going to keep quiet and then I'll have my elaboration. If you notice, there are some words which are bolded here. This will be the case throughout today, bolding a few words which are of high importance to our talk. Research informed, localized, contextualized, policy, change, teaching philosophy. For God's sake, 52 years in Oman. How many of our policies have been research informed? Thank you for nodding, lady. How many of them have been 100% purely local? How many of those which have been imported have been localized, contextualized? It's a rhetorical question. I'm going to leave the answer to you. Deep down, enjoy a free ride and think about it. We're talking about reflection today, aren't we? Yeah, we're talking about action research. I leave the answer to you to ponder on. So, this is one of the aims of today's talk. Here's another one. Now, obviously, when you have the first one and you're complaining, like myself, about those policies, how awful they've been, how useless they've been, how aimless they've been, how corrupted they've been, then you've got to come up with a solution. Otherwise, your credibility as a researcher will be completely undermined. And I cannot accept that. Therefore, we're calling onto calcs to be our savior, to help us rid ourselves from all that is mentioned in the first point. A savior coming to the rescue. Don't tell me you're not experiencing this. It's across the country, probably even across the globe today. Talking about outcome-based and standard-based education. This is the micro. Putting the whole thing within a macro perspective, then we are talking about the neoliberal policy, neoliberal philosophy, neoliberal ideology. Catastrophic. A disaster. Can we get rid of it? Huh. I doubt it. But then you will say, why? Because I tell you, it is 100%, 101% supported by the politicians. If it is so, then how on earth can you get rid of it? America's behind it. The UK is behind it. They are building coalitions, building alliances. And we, the third world, this is what we're doing. Endless mosquitoes traveling in and out. A disaster. Therefore, for calcs to be able to coexist with the neoliberalism, oh, what an achievement. Unmatched. Research never stops developing new ways, methods, approaches to continuous professional development. How many of us are aware of this? I don't know. Again, a question for you to reflect on. But then we will explore this terrain today together. Number 5 is fundamentally important. What has UTAS done so far? How long has it been since it got established? UTAS? How long?
2020.
Okay, so we're talking about 2.5 years, roughly 2 years. How far have you gone with your CPD? Today will unfold a lot for you to see that probably you might invite the services of Ali Al-Ais in the future. But you've got to pay me. And I know you don't have enough money. So we'll talk about that later. Okay. Now, this is what happened. To be more precise, now we're getting down to business, the narrative. In September last year, this is what happened actually. We call it qarar, which is a circular in English, if we want to translate that. A teaching quality team. Let's see what we have here, the details. These are the members actually on the team. So I've got 4. I'm leading the team, and I have 3 absolutely gorgeous women helping me. I didn't say beautiful, eh? I said gorgeous. Any woman can be gorgeous. But not all women can be beautiful for a married man. We're very selective. Okay, CK? Thank you very much. I love your wit. Okay. So, this is what we did as a team. We met a few times. That was the first thing we did, actually. There's an issue with teaching on campus at SQ. Many people who are unfamiliar with SQ, they would look at it from the outset and would tell you, wow, this must be heaven on earth. The ultimate institution. Guys, that's a fallacy. That's a misconception. Don't buy into things you have not researched carefully. Naivety is not accepted in academia at any cost. The OAAA wrote to SKU telling them, I'm sorry, despite the fact that you pursued international academic accreditation and you got it, locally, domestically, internally, we cannot grant you this. You can imagine how many people fainted at that time in the hierarchy. We used everything, water, whiskey, you name it. They're still there on the floor lying. But then they had to move. They had to do something. They're obsessed by accreditation, another neoliberal good. Merchandise sold to us. We're happily buying. Our credit card is infinity. Doesn't have a limit. Nobody shops better than Arabs. This is what we did, or what they did actually. And then, yeah, what we did basically is to look at that. And then, this is what we did also. If you look at procedures between inverted commas, procedures, again, a fundamental aspect and concept of neoliberal education. It's a part and parcel of neoliberal education. If you are a supporter, if you are a doctor, if you are a practitioner of neoliberalism, then this word will always be there for you in your dreams as well as reality. It will obsess you. Simply because it will tell you, hey, come on, make life easy. Why do you need to complicate matters? But then that is an absolute rubbish. Teaching is complex by nature. Teaching is subjective by nature. Professionalism is no joke by nature. To go for procedures, they don't go together. It's that simple. They conflict. They contradict. They fight like Tom and Jerry. Like Omanis and UAE people. No, I'm sorry. That is way too radical, okay? I apologize. It's not recorded, yeah? It is. Okay. I'll come and visit me in Samail, guys. All right. Bring some chapati. So, this is the story then. If you want to highlight your strengths as a researcher, automatically, you need to highlight the weaknesses of your opponent. And this is what we try to do in order to show SQ hierarchy, that there are serious issues with teaching on campus. So, I'm going to elaborate now on the 2 points in the earlier slide. This is the other name for procedures, nuts and bolts. It's easy. Very mechanical, way too technical, way too simplified, way too reduced. Short term. Goodness gracious. Short term and ELT in Oman, you must be kidding. 52 years and we have not solved yet a tiny problem. Who wants to talk about short term? The small picture. The day-to-day life inside the classroom. Sufficient? Absolutely not. You've got to have that vision. You've got to see above and beyond. You've got to see beyond the classroom. There are people involved. There are resources involved. There is so much involved. Very safe routine. Give me the teacher's guide and life is easy. Give me the teacher's book. Show me what to do and how to do, and consider me one of your tiny monkey pets. Get me to parrot. And I'll get promoted. One day I may become a minister. Hey, again. Contradicts, or actually complements, the one before it. There you go. Look at that word. Intellectual critical thinker. This is what teachers are supposed to be. Intellectualism is actually a combination of intelligence and politics. The power of politics. Dare you separate it from education? More specifically from ELT? I challenge you to do so. You always need to travel that extra mile when it comes to ELT. There is absolutely nothing neutral in ELT. Very much like there is absolutely nothing neutral in politics. Okay, some fundamental concepts now to consider regarding what we said in the previous slide. Can we deny that? Collaborative and critical. Goodness me. Marry the two together and the children you're gonna have will be the prettiest on the planet. They'll fill your life with joy. They'll give you a new perspective on life, on living, on experience, on everything. Beautiful. Can we argue against that? I doubt it. SAP. How many of us believe in it? And if we do believe in it, how many of us resort to it, implement it, make use of it? Guys, students are not your enemies. Students are not inferior. Students are not there just to learn. Students are teachers. Students are amazing professors. What's your attitude? Absolutely. Again, we're talking about that critical mentality coming into vogue. Indeed, because earlier we critiqued the long-term development. Now, as I said, if I don't come up with an alternative, then my credibility will be, and I don't accept that. Therefore, we keep coming up with those powerful statements and justifications to show, to demonstrate clearly our position, our stance, that we're there to help transform it in the right way. Research. This is what we're gathering here today for, isn't it? Isn't it, CK? It's not to witness a marriage. Okay, all right, you got the message. So this is it, basically. Research, guys. This, for a teacher, I'm sorry to say, if this thing does not run here, guys, quit. I'm being very blunt. Quit. you're not going to improve. You will not develop professionally. Don't wait for UTAS to come and tell you, we will give you A, B, C, X, Y, Z. Don't wait for others to come and give you charity. Nobody will do that. Times have changed, and so has the philosophy of professional development. Therefore, this is what he suggested, which sits at the heart, actually, of today's event. If you look at those words in bold, you will see how I'm putting those three together to come up with, to redefine, reconstruct continuous professional development. Strategies, what do we know about them? What does the faculty on campus know about that? Probably little, maybe some know a lot. We'll find out. Probably number 9 makes more sense with regard to connecting those things together, putting them together, the jigsaw pieces. If they are apart, then just bring them together. Enjoy looking at that fascinating big picture. A new criteria, a new benchmark. It's no longer that stupid checklist, tick, 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 where teaching has become reduced to checklists. You kidding me? Is that what teaching is about? We all know that teaching is as unpredictable as the British weather, as the Omani women. Now you're laughing louder. Yeah, it's all about context. This is what actually determines, controls, drives teaching. It's not a stupid checklist. It's not stupid fixed routines. You walk in, you greet, you introduce, you present, you practice, you produce. Come on, hang on. What if I started the other way around? You're a bad teacher. Gonna finish your contract. Oman is all contract based now. Easy. Today you're off, you're out, tomorrow somebody else is in. Economic problem solved. Brilliant. A new definition, a new perspective on quality assurance. Again, it's no longer about that benchmarking introduced by the OAAA. Very neoliberal based, neoliberal originated, neoliberal watered. Yeah. How many people are aware of this on campus? I can assure you. 9 colleges in addition to the Center for Preparatory Studies. Very, very few. Even if they are practicing that thing, they are unaware of it theoretically. And that's no good. For a teacher, this is a disaster. Because you'll never be able to reflect. You'll always think that what you're doing is absolutely up there, superior. Doesn't need to be revised. But then that's not teaching. That's not learning to improve, not learning to develop. modernization. If you're going radical in critical applied linguistics terms, you are going modern, because you are simply transforming the whole process and waiting for a transformed end product. It is modern, and you will see in a minute. So, we recommended a few things because that task was assigned to me by the Deputy Vice Chancellor for academic studies and community service. So, let's see what we recommended to that guy, that elite, to convince him. So we wanted action research. Some of you may think that, okay, action research, fine, originated in education, confined to teachers. No. Again, fallacy, misconception. It's for each and every teacher, regardless of where you teach. Guys, whether we like it or not, full professor to hell, I am still a teacher. We're all teachers. I've done around, 5, 6, 7 action researches so far. And they've contributed hugely to my professional development. They reflected so positively on my work with my students. Student teachers, I should say. So, this is what we recommended. Recruitment. When people apply for a job, check out. You've got their CV. Have they done any AR? No? I'm going to look for someone else. Don't call us, we'll call you. Promotions. Unfortunately, the promotion committee on campus has been so generous recently at SQU. Generous above the table and under the table. Again, you've got so many Omanis always dream about holding an admin post. What's an obsession? It's an obsession for most Omanis. Because they know once they become an assistant dean, a dean, yes, next, a minister. A free Mercedes. Everything is going to come free. A second wife. If you have to, then go for the third. A lot of money, who cares, yeah? We cannot deny that. Proven scientifically. Annually, across the 9 colleges and the CPS, we've got what we call the Distinguished Teacher Award. Now, for that applicant to be eligible for it, action research, we recommend it should be a fundamental part of that. Otherwise, what's the point? People will still take it lightly. We've got the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. What this center does on an annual basis, they actually, it's every 2 years, they hire members, 2 members from each college to represent them in the center. Now, if you want really to promote that culture of action research and sustain it, you've got to have people with AR background, practitioners from head to toe, immersed in it. Otherwise, how are they going to promote something they lack themselves? Again, plenty of grants annually. Probably you need to question here the TRC. They've invested, I don't know whether it's the right word, they've wasted so much money so far, millions. But we're still lagging, we're still struggling. Look at our economy, look at our agriculture, our business, our education. The world advances 10 steps. We go backward 20 steps. What happened to all that research? Isn't it supposed to contribute to Oman's development in different sectors? I think it's happening. Again, the new recruitees. Be very careful when you do that with them, whether they are going to show any commitment to pursuing this, educating themselves about all those things. These are the implications actually for adopting all that. Look at that. It'll keep opening up those professional horizons for you. You'll keep moving and moving and moving forward, obviously. So we proposed an action plan to see how we could then ourselves pursue it. It's easy to put things on paper, but then, goodness gracious, one hell of a struggle to implement that. So, this is what we did in order to give the hierarchy the impression that we are up to that task, that the selection has been spot on, rather than deceptive, manipulative, mistaken. That was our action plan. I'll keep quiet and I'll let you look at it, read through it. You're done, guys? You're not slow readers, are you? You're not supposed to be. You all teach reading. Yeah? Okay. So, what did we achieve during this semester? Is it this or past? I don't know whether it's over. You guys are still in spring 22? Started the summer? Well, I mean, look, we don't have spring in Oman. Do we? 12 months of beautiful summer. Yes? Okay. All right. So, this is what we achieved now. Here we go. You may say, College of Law, College of Nursing, why? You're being bloody biased. No. Because Dr. Mariam, one of the members on the team, is from nursing, and the other member on the team, Dr. Rahima, is from law. Not only that, but there's then a deeper meaning to it. Actually, from the science side, nursing, and from the humanities side, law, are technically the smallest colleges on campus when you talk about the number of faculty and students. Therefore, we said, let's kick off with those two. Pilot and see how far we can go with it. This is what we did. We conducted that. And then, to add credibility to our work as researchers, as I said earlier, you just cannot do something and then let it, as you approach the end, let it go loose. People will question, and you don't want people to question you. Not at this age and stage. Therefore, we sent out questionnaires to check it out. We also prepared these two things because this is what SQ is looking for, dying for. Still fainted because of it. This is also what the Settle did, because the fourth member on the team is actually the Deputy Director of Settle, Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. And she decided to allocate, to recommend, to propose actually allocating 7,300 Omani Riyals for improving the status quo of reflection, action, research, and communities of practice on campus. Now, this is our next plan. We are targeting the Center for Preparatory Studies. That's going to be next semester, inshallah. Fall 22. Again, there is no fall, okay? All right, fall/summer, yeah? We will also target the College of Economics and Political Science and the College of Agriculture. 2 down, 3 next, probably 3 or 4 more, and we'll try to cover those in spring 23. If we're not hit by another pandemic. People now are talking about, what did they call it? Monkey business? Yeah, it's always been in Oman anyway, yeah, so who cares? All right, fine. More specific achievements, maybe those were specific, but then we are now going even deeper into it. Here's the report submitted by the Assistant Dean, Dr. Mariam, about what she has achieved ever since we've completed our 4 workshops. Let's see what that woman wrote. Those guys, the hell they mean business. They're already down with it. It's fascinating when you see people buying into something that has been really well planned and executed. And they accept that and see its relevance, long-term relevance, because this is what it's all about. It's not for one-off purposes, never. I couldn't obviously. That yes, goodness me, where has this been all those years? They could see that it's a totally new, modern perspective on teaching, on pedagogy. Now, the College of Law report. I received this only 2 days ago. Not as active, dynamic, energetic as those guys. But we are hoping now, the summer break coming, they will have time to charge their batteries, critically think about what they've been doing. And when they report back in August, they are absolutely ready to develop, to take the initiative to develop. But then this is the analysis for those 3.5 lines. This is what Rahima is telling us. Those guys are actually in the process now of reflecting. You cannot rush them through it. They need to take their time. You need to buy into the whole thing. It's a massive project. It's a change of teaching culture across the campus. And if you're not convinced, If you're not willing to undertake that, what a struggle it would be. Probably what you've been waiting for. This is the teaching philosophy for SQ. Read and enjoy. Those who are taking pictures, you're going to pay me. There are intellectual property rights. I'm charging by the word. Okay? So anybody here good at mathematics? To work out a calculation for me? No. We're all lousy, huh? See? Oh. Loaded. Very directed. Very guided. Yet, very liberal. But then that's not the fascinating thing. The fascinating thing is the next couple of lines. Check this out. Merci beaucoup. Now you're telling me it's not only the second word, but I'm getting some cash with that. Yes? بنت الناس لازم تعيش بعد. See? Absolutely never before. This is what careful policy formulation and careful planning leads you to. This is 3 letters. W-O-W. Say it. Thank you. Give them a raise, please. A promotion, يلا. Okay? بيحولكم على الكونتراكت. Yeah. Okay, all right. Absolutely fascinating. No university on this planet yet has come up with something like that. Now you want to see the learning and teaching strategies that would go hand in glove, would strongly, closely complement the philosophy. Let's look at that together. There you go. These are the ones. I didn't elaborate for time constraints, probably purposes, but these are the headlines. How much of this SQ faculty has been doing? If they are doing that, how much of it have they been aware of? Ibra guys, something for you now, probably to reflect on. What's next? All this work, what the hell is going to happen after that? The way forward. Bureaucracy has got to chip in. Let's see whether it's working in our favor or. This is what I recommended in my official email to the Deputy Vice Chancellor. We're looking for that special recognition, obviously. It's a hallmark. The effort has been absolutely tremendous, second to none. And we need to be awarded. We need to be recognized. It's our right. How often do we speak about rights in Oman? Lack of democracy, lack of social justice, lack of voice. Well, you need it sometimes. You've got to show people how loud your voice is. But then at the same time, it's not just loud, full of messages. So, step one, there are 2 steps. This is the first one. For that thing to appear on SQ website, what an achievement that would be. Step 2, the alternative way. regardless of what path they're going to take, what track they will take, we don't care. Personally, I don't give a damn. I just want to see that thing posted there. What a triumph that would be. For calcs, critical applied linguistics. For critical education, critical literacy, critical theory. You put critical before whatever you want to put and never stop celebrating. I'm done, guys. Wow, I'm amazing. The floor is open. Questions, comments, anything you want to say? Don't ask political questions. Unless you want to be my guest in Samail. I already booked the room there. Believe me, they're not cheap. They are not cheap. If you're looking for high-end food, they will cost. Yeah? Unless you want to go for dal and chapati.
Doctor,
Yes, please.
Doctor, thank you so much for that wonderful lecture. Okay, we were truly enlightened. Thank you so much. Doctor, but I have a few questions. Number one, you are talking
A few means you're going to monopolize. This is mamnu in Oman. We don't believe in monopoly in Oman.
That's news to me, Doctor. Thank you.
New to everyone. Go, my friend. I'm sorry.
Actually, I have three questions, Doctor.
Sure.
Okay, so let me be very specific as you are. Question number one, you were talking about nuts and bolts. Procedures. Nuts and bolts?
Yes.
Procedures.
Yes.
Okay, we all know, I teach us, most of us believe that nuts and bolts and procedures are quite integral to teaching. They are part and parcel of teaching. Okay, obsession with nuts and bolts may lead to problems, as you are talking about. Then, how do we associate nuts and bolts with neoliberalism? Question number three. You are talking about neoliberalism. In India, neoliberalism is associated with doing away with exams, doing away with standard procedures.
Yeah.
But here, you are talking about quite the opposite of it.
I'm talking about, sorry?
Quite the opposite of what we know as neoliberalism.
Yeah. All right.
Could you please throw some light on it, Doctor?
Thank you so much. Thank you a million times for those interrelated, fascinating questions. Remind me again. This is what happens when you grow old, guys. I mean, look, I'm young at heart. I can't deny, but shape-wise, I am dreadful. Okay. Look, my friend, procedures, nuts and bolts. I know they're integral for teaching. But then remember, I used a phrase there where I said, coexist. I know, guys, you are being monitored as you teach. It's the OAAA. That thing is not going to let you live in peace. We know that. Your HOD is not going to let you live in peace. Yeah? This woman is not going to let you live in peace. But then you can always find that strategy to coexist. Bring in your knowledge whenever possible. Integrate it. Look, we are also under all those constraints. We've got that absolutely dreadful academic accreditation imported from the States in 2016. Am I abiding by it 100%? No. I'm trying to maneuver all the time, trying to find those loopholes, gaps, and penetrate through, and then be able to bring in my own critical knowledge to the context. The students are not there to be spoon-fed. Procedures, nuts and bolts, do offer a lot of spoon-feeding. Because remember, as I said, they confine your perspective to the micro picture. And that is not supposed to be. That is not education. Maybe part of it, but how much? 25, 30%? So, what was after that?
Doctor, you were actually talking about neoliberalism.
Yeah.
I just want to be
Okay, sure. Yeah. Oh, that will be great.
Yeah. So neoliberalism in India
Yeah.
is associated with doing away with standard procedures. For example, cancelling entrance examinations. Okay, bringing in social justice, so on and so forth. it is not associated with actually bringing in social, procedures and nuts and bolts. But when I actually listen to your lecture, I kind of, see the contradiction. So I just want you to throw some light on that.
Thank you so much. Well, when you look at the critical literature on neoliberalism, it tells you, listen to that phrase, neoliberal logic. Logic means multiple definitions, multiple interpretations. In India, you said it yourself, depending on your context, you're looking at it from a certain perspective. In Oman, we're looking at it differently. Probably that is your own contextualized perspective, if I'm not getting this wrong. Am I?
Dr. India, when we talk about neoliberal principles,
Yeah.
they come up with certain ideologies, certain notions.
Okay.
One is, for example, we actually have had entrance examinations for different courses.
Yeah.
So they bring in social justice. These are all neoliberal forces in India.
Very
They don't want these nuts and bolts,
Yeah.
procedures, standards.
Yeah.
They said that, okay, they write examination, they must be through. They want to do away with these procedures. So I am a little bit actually, say, perplexed.
But the exams are still standardized.
That is true, doctor.
Thank you very much. Then that is, look, probably our neoliberalism is hitting the roof. We're talking about 100% in Oman. Given the circumstances, looking at it from a holistic point of view, maybe in your case, it has been reduced drastically now, down to, let's say, 20 or 10%, where it is still standardized, yet they are trying to inject a little bit of differences here to accommodate more of the culturalist ideology. So ideologies, the game is still being played. However, it's more of a mix and match in your case, more of one unified type in our case. Have I answered it? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. He's warning you guys.
Oh, I don't need a microphone, nurse. So I'm good. For the live stream, I see. Okay. So you were talking about student as partners, including students in curriculum, teaching decisions. In my experience, Omanis are amazing at expressing themselves with particularly displeasure at a particular curriculum decision. But we as regular lecturers are consistently told that it is Muscat which imposes a particular kind of outcome or assessment type on us. And we can express that to our students, that you can discuss your dissatisfaction with Muscat if you so choose. But at the end of the day, we're not really able to include them as partners with curriculum. So do you have advice for that, or how do you incorporate your students as partners in SQU?
Ma'am, you've got one hell of a brain. Okay. You're...
from America. I'm sorry.
What for? What for?
That's 400 years. Anyway, sorry.
She's in Oman now, she's contextualized. See? Khalas. Nobody talks about America in Oman, not even Ali Al-Isa. Yeah? We all love Biden, don't we? Okay. All right. I miss Trump. Okay. He was a great actor. Fine. Terrific. Thank you so much. Ma'am, when you talk about SAP, then you are actually talking about multiple paradigms. It can take different shapes, different concepts, different theories, different practices. Now, the way I do it with my students is, I don't know, it depends on the context again. I try to negotiate it with them at the beginning, at the very first meeting we have, either at the master's level or the bachelor's level. We always talk. Those channels are always open of communication. I always bridge the gap. Guys, we are going to do this set of topics. Boom, boom, boom. What do you envisage? The best way? Okay, not the best. The most comfortable way for you, the most effective way to go about it. And I listen to them. And then I try to accommodate. Look, this is what I told you. You try to incorporate your own power, Yeah, Aywa. Here we go. She's not American. I told you. Yeah? Okay. Yeah.
In my classroom,
Superb. Excellent.
talking about our curriculum, when it comes to the outcome,
Yeah.
I have no control of that. I have no rights to it.
Yeah.
Now, I am then under that burden of outcome-based learning.
Yeah.
My students are very vocal, particularly when examinations come around.
Yeah.
And they are magnificent that they can speak with the higher management.
Right.
But how can my students give commentary on curriculum from the beginning within the UTAS system?
Yeah.
And how in SQU are you looking before you enter the classroom?
Yeah.
Students as partners in curriculum.
Exactly. Well, in SQU, so far, SAP is lost somewhere. That's why we brought it up. We highlighted it in my presentation before the Deputy Vice Chancellor and everybody else, all the team members and the heads of the teams. I deliberately highlighted that to send a clear message to everyone that, guys, you are undermining the power of the students. That's simple, put bluntly. Now, let me take you a little bit down the politics road and talk about the world building alliances. On your own, I don't see this very achievable. You'll tell me, what do you mean? I'll tell you, today, everybody's here. The boss is here. Another boss is here. We have two, I don't know how many. Everybody's a boss here? Okay. Conflict of bossation. Yeah, okay. All right. You have a boss in front of you. See? Now they're here. Let's put it clearly. They're here today. You invited me, and we're having this meeting and gathering because you want to find solutions to your problems, isn't it? Or it's just to enjoy my voice. Nahat Hamid, yeah? Okay. All right. So you need now to be able to activate SAP. You really need also to build alliances. Teachers with administrators, teachers with their direct bosses. You've got to start now to negotiate that. If it doesn't come at an institutional level, I'm sorry, this is Oman. It may never come. It could easily get forgotten. You don't want this to happen, do you? It's been obsessing you. You've been trying really hard to work it out. And you will need now is the time to get people with positions, people with power to be able to help to make it happen. To my humble knowledge, the 7, 8, 9 colleges you always meet at the administration level. Why can't you put forward a proposal in which you come up with something more creative, more innovative in terms of administrating your curriculum, and check the reaction? There is always a pulse to check as long as that person is still alive. Do it. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Probably they're dead long ago. Okay, you can check on that, lady. Guys, ما عندكم مهرب الحين. Yeah? Now, they're deep into that contention, and they know now they've got to really move forward with this. That's why I brought this today, honestly. Because you clearly saw the team members. Ali Al-Isa is a full prof. Oh, so much cultural capital, so much authority this guy has. Then, the deputy director of SETL. Goodness me, she looks after professional development on campus. Assistant Dean, HOD. Wow. People with a lot of power and cultural capital. People who can make things happen. Now you need these people to help you make it happen. Hala Habibi. Why not? Look, it'll depend on you guys. I don't know how aggressive you are. But you've got to be aggressive sometimes. You have to. If you are really seeking genuine reform and ELT, you care about ELT, you care about your students, about your own professional development, your own values, principles, you name it, then you've got to go aggressive. You've got to fight your case really clearly, really loud. I have been doing this now since 2000. You can imagine almost a quarter a century of fighting. And eventually I got my reward. I managed to catch the attention of the Deputy Vice Chancellor. SKU, you've got 2,000 plus faculty. His assistant was telling me, she said, he picked the 9 teams, all the team leaders, all the members, including my team. He said he left it to us. But for this team, I want Prof. Ali Al-Isa. I believe he will change things for me. Guys, go and grab it by the horns. I don't know whether you're dealing with bulls. I have been. So, okay, have I answered your question? Okay. Have I put some people in trouble? Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. They lost faith. Love it. Okay. Now they gained faith back. Yeah. Okay.
They have specialization committee, and always they are meeting and discussing these things across all the colleges. Maybe Dr. Salim can bring us some.
There you go.
We usually don't know. So what we did this year, they collected the teachers.
Mike, guys, Mike. Hey, you'll finish your contract. Make it quick.
They collected the feedback.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Now there is a committee going through all of the feedback from the teachers.
Okay.
Whether they are regarding the curriculum, the syllabus in general, the assessment,
Okay.
Teachers' concerns about
Excellent.
the exams, and inshallah they will come up with the final draft. My colleague, Dr. Abdul Salam, is a member of this committee, and I think 2 weeks ago you met. Yes.
Yes, so I'll give you an idea. We normally get feedback from colleges, so whatever you write is read and we hear from everyone. What happens? We know that some points are really valid, but some maybe the time is not right to make some changes because some changes are major. They need sometimes 6 months, 1 year. So you shouldn't be disappointed if one comment is not taken. Maybe it's not taken because they are contradicting points. This is one thing. Maybe it's not taken because there was disagreement. Or it's a very good point, but it needs time. So whenever you are asked for feedback, please write because we discuss it in our meetings. Thank you.
Convinced you? Look, I don't love Abdul Salam. I'm in love with the guy. He's a darling. But I could hear some manipulative discourse.
What I would say as well, though, again, and you mentioned this before,
Yeah.
yours, surveys, questionnaires,
There you
things that
go.
are sent out by email.
Absolutely.
people don't buy by book.
There you go.
So focus groups, because Omanis are
Yeah.
oral.
You're
They don't
right.
talk about it.
You're right.
So I found when I did QA before, yes, the questionnaire, and then after, focus groups with different kinds of
Indeed.
students.
Absolutely. Abdul Salam, what she's trying to tell you is you need now to probably shuffle off the whole strategy. You need to go either mixed method or go qualitative. But then that is Abdul Salam. Guys, if you are really with SAP, heart and soul, you've got to research it yourself. Get those convictions, buy into it yourself, and then Make sure, like what Ali Al Isa did, it was a simple job, honestly, because what I did was 100% research informed. Even the deputy vice chancellor kept it zipped. He couldn't say a word because he knew what Ali Al Isa was talking about. The guy is a full prof, informed by research. Who am I to argue against him? Now, you guys need to conduct a couple of studies, go critical, and then prepare your proposal and submit a whole dossier to Abdus Salam and co. And be prepared to assassin who says no. So, Arabs are terrorists. Yeah? Okay. See, it's got to go. I love that. It's got to go systematic. It's got to be organized. Otherwise, the hit and run, the hit and miss, very much like our policy in Oman. Honestly, 53 years in Oman of hit and miss policy. You don't want to do that. You don't want to replicate this now. Go systematic. Go organized. Go research. Only then, to my knowledge, the Vice Chancellor of UTAS is a PhD holder. صح? سعيد الربيعي, an ex-colleague of mine. I call him to say hi. Who the hell are you? Okay? Power makes you forget. They're powerless. Okay? So, no, I'm kidding. Never. All right. So, but then, he's a doctor. And he should. You assume he appreciates the value of research. And from what I heard, he is with change, constructive change, informed change. So go for it. Give it your best shot. Make it systematic. Charge your batteries. Now we're going to have the summer holiday. Start. Look, guys. Last year. Can I take more than a minute? I'm not going to argue against someone who spoke about the Titanic. Okay? All right. It sank long ago. My ship is still sailing. Honestly, that was last year. I forwarded a complete proposal, continuous professional development proposal, to your UTAS Vice Chancellor. It's been over 6 months. I absolutely heard nothing from the guy until today. You'll tell me, what is it about? It's a complete proposal to help the technical colleges improve their professional development status. And no response until today. Imagine how humiliating this is.
So you get still get this.
Never.
Maybe because they are busy in merging.
Thank you for finding excuses. We Omanis absolutely love that. We adore this. Maybe Ali Al Isa has got a notorious reputation. Because he talks a lot of sociopolitics and socioeconomics and he bluntly criticizes. Get him out of the way. But honestly, that was a complete faculty professional development for 2 weeks, 10 sessions, 4 hours every day, ending up with you guys forming communities of practice, producing action research, and me pursuing it for you until you get it published. But then, because of all this amazing effort, I asked for a little bit of money, and it's my right, and it was rejected. I'm assuming, because I haven't heard anything ever since then. So I'm assuming it got rejected. Probably they're working on a loan from the International Bank to fund Ali Al Isa. I'll be over the moon if they do this. So now you know a little bit of background information. So I'm sure you received a copy of that proposal.
It's already maybe sent, right? Did you submit your proposal? You see, you had a feedback to them earlier.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I sent lots of feedback.
I love that.
You submitted that earlier.
Yeah. We just discussed students as partners at the moment, so this is the first time that I've ever mentioned students as partner to my management. But I've just been informed that I need to become 100% research informed, complete proposal to give to my management. And ideally, I can prepare that with the community of practice, because I only have access, of course, to my 26. So, and ideally, in the next semester, I can prepare that if I still have a job after today. And we'll see.
In fact, if you like, prior to this, if that course, honestly, was approved, you would have seen how possible it is to be able to go down that road and make that thing happen. But then I was completely blocked. That's why, I mean, and I'm sure, I don't know whether that proposal is still with him or he sent it to someone else and that someone else took care of business. I don't know. Okay? Yeah. Time's up? Oh, he's saying still 1 more minute. Okay. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it, really. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ali Al-Isa. Can we please pamper him one more time with another round of applause? You are pampered indeed. Now it's time to hear from our guest speaker. Let me introduce Dr. Justin James. He is the Faculty of English and e-learning coordinator at the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, NISWA. He is an experienced English language and literature teacher with a doctoral degree in applied linguistics. He is a skilled teacher of English as a foreign language and English as a second language with a TESOL certificate from the American TESOL Institute, Tampa, Florida. He is trained in using ICT for language teaching and holds a certificate awarded by Trinity College, London. Dr. Justin is an English language trainer, teacher educator, ICT teacher trainer, and ELT consultant with a demonstrated history of working in the education and education management industry. As a language trainer, he has additional experience training students for English language proficiency tests like TOEFL and IELTS. As an ELT consultant, Dr. Justin has trained, advised, and developed materials for English language professionals working in schools, colleges, and academies. Besides, he is an international resource person for colleges and universities in India, conducting workshops and delivering plenary talks at conferences and webinars. Dr. Justin has many international publications to his credit. He has received international awards and several more, including the Best Teacher Award and the Best Researcher Award. He has carried out projects funded by the Research Council of Oman. In addition, he is a designated foreign examiner for PhD research in ELT and English literature for Barathia University, Periyar University, Vellore Institute of Technology, Gandhigram Deemed University, and the University of Madras. Friends, let us welcome Dr. Justin James.
English teachers and my country cousins. I'm very happy to be here today. So my first English language presentation in Oman was done 15 years before here in this campus. So this is my second presentation here. So that was also a historical day. Among technical colleges, that was the first ELT conference. And today this is the first symposium of TESOL Oman with Department of, English Language Center here. So I am happy to be here once again, part of the new history being made, having a TESOL Oman, which will work for the betterment of teaching and learning of English in this country. So the topic of my presentation today is teaching English language to digital natives in the post-pandemic scenario. So I included post-pandemic scenario because it is part of the title here. Otherwise, it has not much relevance to my presentation. So we heard a lot of policies being made and teacher development philosophies are developed and implemented in the country. It was a very informative, radical, and very challenging approach that Dr. Ali has undertaken to improve things here in Oman. I am taking you back to classroom practices. So the purpose of my presentation today is to analyze and understand how a teacher can effectively teach digital natives. I'll explain the term digital natives. The target audience, English language teachers, trainees, and research scholars. So this is my lecture plan for the day. You can have a look at it. So the purpose of this main presentation is to look at the challenges of teaching in post-pandemic world, and also I always feel that it is important to understand the nature of students we teach today. That is one of the most important things we should do before stepping into our classroom. What type of students we have, what are their aspirations, what are their learning styles and things like that. And also I strongly believe that so understanding the learning style of our students will help us prepare effective teaching materials and deliver the content very effectively and to maximize their learning. So why do we need to do this? So before we venture into do anything, we have to analyze the need for doing that. So these are two very strong statements. Our education system is at fault, so what can I do about it? So Dr. Ali didn't stop with that. He moved on further. Okay, of course, the education system may be at fault, but as a teacher, I can bring a change to my classroom. So if we take this second point as our vision and mission in our teaching career, taking the responsibility into our hands and do something about our teaching practices, definitely we can improve the situation and deliver goods. So have a look at this picture. Yeah, digital native. So the students we get today, they come with technology, they are born with technology, they use technology, and hence they are called digital natives. Who is the digital immigrant? People born before 1980, most of us, and so when it comes to using technology, they are in the process of learning a new language, a process that is typical for all immigrants in a new country. Like when we immigrate to another country, the culture is new, the language is new. So same is the kind of experience we had, those who were born before 1980s, when we started moving into the world of technology, and when technology, whether we accept it or not, it seeps into our daily practices of teaching. So as an e-learning coordinator, I had a very, very challenging task of training our teachers in the department. And people were of the opinion that I am trying to promote myself through introducing various technology and technical tools, and I am trying to establish my survival in my department. That was the initial reaction I had. I predicted 10 years before that sooner or later, in a decade's time, you cannot go to a classroom without a laptop or at least a smartphone or a tab in your hand. Somehow or other, we are all forced into doing that. The people who resisted using technology, they were the one who went ahead of everyone and tried to introduce technology into their classroom during pandemic, because it is a question of survival for them. They know that if they are not doing that, if they are not willing to adapt technology or implement technology in their teaching, if they can't cope with the use of technical applications in their teaching, definitely their contract is not going to be renewed the next year. So that somehow or other forced, and people started introducing many technical applications, learning applications into their classroom. So pandemic did the magic, which I couldn't succeed over a decade. Who are digital natives? So digital natives are the children, like the one we saw in the picture, born with the technology. For them, using any technical tool is like playing with any other toys which we used to play in the past. So, and they developed a culture of technology. Anything to do with technology is not a novelty for them. It is something that is part and parcel of their daily lives. So now the challenge is this. We as digital immigrant teachers, we are going to teach digital natives. When we are going to teach digital natives, is it important for us to understand what are the learning styles, or what do they expect, what they are comfortable with, what they are interested in? It is important to know. So if we accept our responsibility as a teachers, as facilitators, it is important to understand the nature of digital natives and the learning methods or styles of native speakers. Sorry, native, we are always obsessed with this term native speakers. So native, digital natives. This will improve our teaching practice. Also, it will help us maximize our effectiveness in teaching the language. Look at this picture. Give it a title, caption. CK. So you are helping. No, it is outside the veranda. I took his picture some 7-8 years before and posted it on the Instagram, of course, after getting his permission. Teachers' email, teachers don't respond to teachers' emails. What do you call it? What is he doing? Texting. What? Only texting and chatting? Yeah. Okay, look how he has put the straw, locked it. Anyway, very good, multitasking. So our native native digital students who are native to the technology are very good in multitasking. So I think of late we are becoming like them, isn't it? We can also multitask to us in a limited way. So I am going to discuss two kinds of learning theories. This is one of the most famous learning theories, behaviorism, John Watson, 1930. So what is behaviorism is children learn watching the adult behavior. So if you go near a 2-year-old or 3-year-old or multi child, the first thing that a child naturally would do is extend the hand. So no one is teaching the child to do it. It is observing, through the observation of elders, by watching them, what is happening in the society. It's part of the greeting. They learn by looking at what is happening, the behaviors of elders. So this one particular theory is important in learning. There are many learning theories which are very prominent, promising in the world. Every 5 years, there comes a new learning theory and people run after that particular theory and conduct research, and finally they come to the conclusion that this is not up to the mark. We must invent another theory. So like that, the theories are random produced and random researched and randomly rejected also. So this is what happens in the industry of education. So one way of understanding digital natives and teaching them is to inform the learner the objective. They should have a clear idea of the learning objectives. They should be able to get stimulated to recall what they have learned, what they have understood in their classes. For that, we must be able to present stimulus materials that inspire, encourage them and motivate them to learn. Also provide learning guidance, how they can learn better. So we can encourage them eliciting performance, asking questions, getting response from them, and we can provide feedback, encourage them. We can assess performance, and finally the last thing is enhancing retention, allowing them to retain what they have learned in their mind and practice or transfer that to job, also to put them in practice in their personal lives. Another learning theory which I like very much, this is more practical. It is 5E instructional method: engage, explore, explain, elaborate and evaluate. So in ELT, this is slightly related to 3 Ps: present, produce, present, practice and produce, similar to that. Now let us look at this statement. Happiness is not the mere possession of money. It lies in the joy of achievement. Franklin Roosevelt. How you can apply this 5E theory in understanding this particular statement? Look at the first question. Generating a kind of engagement with a statement as well as the understanding of the students. What is Roosevelt saying in this quote? So they have to paraphrase, explain. Then explore. Do you agree with him? Why or why not? Then explain. What are your thoughts about money and happiness? Do you think money is necessary for happiness? So further, creating a kind of, or generating a kind of thinking pattern in the minds of the students. So where they have to think before answering it. Then elaborating on the same thing. What if a large group of people in one place or a country lack the money they need to survive? How does this affect their happiness? Again, transferring the idea to the society, their day-to-day living. And again, elaborating at the country level. What do you think a government should do if the people in their country do not have the money they need for survival? So this is more policy making, more decision making level of understanding. So this theory I feel is quite good when we use it in our language classes. This 5E method can be very effective in our classes. Please look at these 12 points. These are supposed to be the 21st century skills a graduate should have once a student graduates from the university and come out to the job market or into the society. He or she should have these 12 abilities. And how do they get it? Who is responsible to inculcate these 12 skills into their mind? So it is the responsibility of the teachers. So our teaching methods, the content we teach, should help them acquire these 12 abilities. So Dr. Ali talked about critical thinking. So this is number one, which has the top priority today. If you look at the textbook pathways, there is one section of the book, critical thinking. That particular section is neglected by all of us, isn't it? Yeah. So how many of you have taught that or even tried reading it? Good. So this is one of the most important parts which we conveniently neglect. So that is very important. It involves decision making. Next one is creativity. So coming out with different solutions. Dealing with new normal. Actually, pandemic situation brought abnormality in life. But we turned it into a positive note and said it is new normal. Okay? So how to handle new normal? Creativity. So our HOD asked us to decide what you are going to do. The first semester of pandemic, Mr. Sultan told me to find out ways to transfer the face-to-face classes to digital platform. We had only 2 weeks time. So the only thing we could do is transfer all the lessons into PPT slides and record voiceover. So half of the teachers are good in PPT, but they had difficulties in recording voiceover. So I had to train them. What I did was I didn't have much time, so I prepared a PPT document, put bubbles, and gave step-by-step instruction, 25 slides. Okay, the thing was circulated and everyone started doing that. By the end of 2 weeks, we had the materials for two full semesters. That's why I don't know how you taught here. We taught only 5 hours in a week. Rest of the materials were uploaded on Moodle and teachers were rather free. We didn't do much of online teaching, only 1 hour online engagement with the students. And it worked very effectively because of collaboration, because of our innovation, because of creativity. So coming out with solutions, creative solutions whenever it is required. This is also one of the most important attributes. Collaboration. So pandemic has brought a lot of collaboration between teachers, isn't it? If we don't collaborate, we cannot survive. This is one quality expected in by the employers from our graduates. Communication. So this is not talking only in English. Communicating in whatever possible ways to put across what is need to be communicated. Normally we have a misunderstanding that communication is just speaking. It's not only speaking but also listening to others or receiving communication that are coming to us and responding to it in a proper way. So communication, it can be written, oral, or whatever modes of communication it may be. Information literacy. So either you should know everything or you should know how to access information whenever required. So the memorizing part of it is slowly going from the world. Now AI, artificial intelligence, integrated softwares or programs are coming. They will think for us. For example, Grammarly. So this is one software which helps us to write better, isn't it? So how to get information. Next one is media literacy. Media literacy is how one can filter the information that we get from various medias. Here also critical thinking is involved. What is true, what is not true, how much of it is truth, how much of it is fiction, what is the purpose of this message, whether it has got some sort of provocative, agenda hidden behind this information that we get from the media. Technology literacy, already our students are better literate in technology than us. 8th point is also very important, flexibility. So one has to be very, very flexible. So now we used to teach in the classroom face to face. Now we are flexible enough to learn how to handle things online, offline, isn't it? And also flexible timings, work from home, work from office. And you are 24/7, you are employed today. I think you all will agree with me, isn't it? So you are expected to work 24/7, you have to combine your life and work together. Leadership, this is one of the most challenging aspects of life. Leading a team, leading a country, leading a university, leading a department. So our students are going to be the future leaders. Initiative. So taking initiative to do new things, creative methods of doing things, planning business. One particular thing is the new startups that are coming up in the country. It's part of initiative by individuals. Productivity, so how you can produce better results either in your job environment or within the families. Last one is social skills, how you interact with the society, how you can mitigate friction and have a smooth relationship between communities, between religious people from different religious groups, different linguistic groups. These are all part and parcel of our living, because we live in a world of multinational companies, multicultural business, people investing from different countries. So you cannot get employment from only one country. You need to go to other countries to get employment, get education. So socially very active, socially, very productive, and socially very responsible. These are the qualities that are expected. Now let us move on to the learning styles of digital natives. Have a look at this picture. What is happening there? What is the teacher? Yes, self-learning, motivating, so taking learning into their own hands. Taking learning into their own hands. So they want to learn things that will help them, not what the university is deciding, what you are teaching. So they decide what kind of things they need. So look at these statistics. They are exposed to so much of online timings. So this world has changed. Their learning styles have also changed. So they are not interested in tests, memorization. Rather, they are interested in creativity, maybe doing a group activity, maybe writing an essay together, or preparing a PowerPoint presentation on the topic given to them. So these are some of the critical aspects of digital native learners. Look at this. If we teach today's students as yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow. We rob them of tomorrow because we fail to equip them with a core set of skills that they need to survive in today's workplace and for their lifelong learning and productive citizenship. So what are we going to do to motivate them to become lifelong learners? So we have to change the teaching style. So we have to change the way we teach them. So they need a lot of freedom in the class. They would like to customize. And they will scrutinize you and your organization, how you are organized, how you are creative, how you can motivate them. And integrity. and openness. Your integrity and openness is also very important. Look at this. Student as partner. So you cannot sit on a pedestal and try to teach them. So you be with them and try to communicate, on par with them. So on an equal platform. So they want to have fun even at work and at school. So they don't have, today everything is integrated. Work from home, control home from office, everything need to be done simultaneously. So you have to plan it. So we have to find out what kind of language they understand. Hope you can quickly go through it. Look at point 8. Share and publicize the success of teachers in the field of embedding technology in teaching and learning. So not only doing action research, publishing that and giving presentations and sharing with others is also very, very important. Whatever we succeed in, we can share it with others. So what are the challenges for the teachers? Teachers will have to adapt, and they have to, even if you have a traditional syllabus, we can take those things that are important for them, customize it and use it. And finally, there is no single solution. There are multiple solutions, you have to look for that. So integration of skills in the same activity, that is also important. Then it should also focus on developing students' communicative competence. So either in writing or speaking, and it also involving listening and understanding. So communicative competence is being competent in all the skills. This is one area where we can do a lot of work. So this is one quality of digital native students. They question everything, isn't it? So what mister, what miss? So this is repeated. So my idea is to beat them in their own game. So this is one example how you can generate communication or involve students in your class. So they are good at asking questions. You should manipulate and ask questions to them so that, some sort of creativity is created in the class. Why? Questions generate interest, curiosity on a topic. Questions encourage thinking and brainstorming. By asking questions, you can stimulate their brains into thinking. Questions provide opportunities for discussion. So by asking questions, you can generate discussion. Questions keep learners engaged. It's not one-way communication. Students, we can interact with students through our questions. Questions reveal gaps in understanding, which I'll show you in a picture. Questions build a foundation for enhancing knowledge. Through questioning, we can enhance our knowledge. Look at this picture. This is one activity. Similar activity is you can use in the class. Take a picture, generate questions, and try to teach them any writing infrastructure also using this. Now look at how I have developed questions at 3 different stages. Questions that initiate discussion and understanding. Start with, do you like this picture? Is it funny or serious? As you go through the questions, the level of question is becoming more and more difficult. The difficulty level is increasing. Then, questions that promote higher order thinking skills. Look at the last question. Have you ever had such a massive head? Not head weight, it is stress. Okay, so then the questions are still going to a higher level. Questions that promote critical thinking. Now look at the first question. How do you relate the sculpture to man's life in the modern world? Comparison and contrast, writing infrastructure. Why do you think, who do you think is responsible for making the head massive or heavy? Again, finding out the reason, causes and effect. Is there any connection between a man's thoughts and his life? Finding out reason. Have you ever experienced such heaviness in your head? Persuasive, analytical. Is it necessary to minimize or control our thinking to live a lighter or happier life? Again, argumentative, agree, disagree. So all the writing infrastructure that we teach in our classes can be taught using one picture like this, by very creatively designing the question and teaching them in the class. Now, this is the conclusion. So, to be successful, we need to have all these characteristics in us, because we find these characteristics in our digital native students. Thank you very much. These are some of my references. This Blended Learning is a very good book. So any questions or?
Justin. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Dr. Justin James. Before we continue, I would like to acknowledge Dr. Abdusalam Almantari, Head of Center of the English Language Center of the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Ibra. Thank you, sir. And of course, we are also joined by the Quality Assurance Department Head, Mr. Majid Hilal Al-Rashdi. It is now time to honor our guests. Let me invite on stage Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Yusuf Kamis Al-Mabsali. Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, Dr. Fatma Al-Harti. Is she around? I forgot already. Okay. Head of Center, Dr. Salim Barra. And of course, our symposium convener, Dr. CK, on stage, please. Oh, sorry. We would like to award the Certificate of Appreciation to Professor Ali Al-Isa. We also have this plaque of appreciation awarded to Professor Ali Al-Isa for being the keynote speaker on the first National Symposium on Post-Pandemic ELT from Reflection to Action Research. We'll have lunch. The same certificate is awarded to Dr. Justin James. We are also awarding this plaque of appreciation to Dr. Justin James for being the guest speaker. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Yusuf. Thank you, Dr. Salam. We are now going to have a tea break. Please remember our schedule for today. At 11:30 to 12:30, that will begin our concurrent session number 1. And then at 12:30 to 1:30 p.m., that's lunch break. And then concurrent session number 2 will be from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. And later on, our closing ceremony will be at 2:30 in the afternoon. I'll see you around. now, presenters, a round of applause, please. I love the energy. Here you go. The script is really not sinking at all. It's here for now. Okay, before we get started with our opening ceremony, I would like to invite on stage our Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs. I'm sorry?
He's enough.
Okay. I would like to invite on stage our Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Yusuf Khalid Al-Athani. A round of applause, please. Here we go. Can we have the first certificate, please? Dr. Abdul Salam. Let me read the text of our certificate. This certificate is awarded to for having presented the paper titled The Importance of Extracurricular Activities for GFP Students at the first National Symposium on Post-Pandemic ELT From Reflection to Action Research, organized by the English Language Center, UTAS-Ibra, in association with TESOL on 2nd of June 2022. Signed by the symposium convener, Dr. CK, and also the head of the center, Dr. Simon Araba. This certificate is awarded to Dr. Abdul Salam Al-Mantari. It goes with the term of appreciation award. Our next certificate is awarded for having presented the paper titled Critical Thinking and Communicative Competence in both events well. Let me call Dr. Aldrin L. Apolonio. We are also awarding a plaque of appreciation from Dr. Aldrin. Our next certificate is awarded for having presented the paper titled How Much Expert Pedagogy Really Needs to Go into Staging Effective Group Work. This certificate is awarded to Ms. Valerie Lewis. Congratulations. Also, please accept this plaque of appreciation. Yes. May we invite all our external speakers to join us on stage for a group photo session. All our external presenters, please join us on stage for a group photo. May we also invite Dr. Karen, Dr. CK Apura, Symposium Convener. I'm sorry? Also, we are inviting Professor Ali. We think about you. Please join us. Yes, we want you. Once again, a round of applause for our guests, external speakers, keynote speaker. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Yusuf. Thank you, Dr. Sally. We are now ready to proceed to our respective rooms for concurrent session number 2. Yes, and you may go to the toilet now. See you. Good evening. Yeah, right. We're getting there. As we bring this symposium to end, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to say thank you very much. Could we please give ourselves a round of applause? This, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed a day full of learning, and that will keep our ship afloat for a long period of time. So we, as English teachers and teachers in general, we shall keep playing. We will now have the awarding of certificates for our presenters. Please join me on stage. I'd like to start with our Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Yusuf Kamis Al-Mabsali. Again, yes. Also, the head of the center of the English Language Center, Dr. Salim Bani Araba. And our mighty symposium convener, super, Dr. CK. Here we go. Can I have the certificates, please? We would like to award this certificate of appreciation to our presenters for having presented their papers at the first National Symposium on Post-Pandemic ELT from Reflection to Action Research. This is signed by the symposium convener, Dr. Kadandarakman Chinafambi, and the head of the Center of the English Language Center, Dr. Salim Bani Araba. This certificate is awarded to Ms. Nadia Muhammad. The same certificate of appreciation is awarded to Mr. Anwar Sajjad. Another certificate of appreciation is awarded to Ms. Elizabeth Fontana. Dr. Avis Joseph. Mr. Firouz Kalarikal. Mr. Awad Yusbashi. Miss Nancy Dalambayan. Dr. CK. Miss Lata Anandan. Miss Siti Sarah Rani. Miss Golda Cherian. Mr. Joscuti Fadatel Joseph. Miss Nancy Balangbayan, she's here. Dr. Elamparithi Selvarasu. Mr. Rudra Prasad. A round of applause, please. Mr. Sherwin Ahmad. Special request. Mr. El Hafiz Muhammad Ali Morsi. Ms. Maria Kuritsi. Mr. Shokri Ayari. Ms. Zubia Assad. Yes. Yes. Mr. Assad Hussein. Yay! At this juncture, we would like to award certificates of appreciation to the members of the ELC Symposium Committee, the organizing committee. Before I get started with that, could we please offer them a round of applause? The organizing committee. We will begin with the steering committee, co-chair, Dr. Salim Bani Araba. Member, Mr. Salim Al-Sadi. Member, Ms. Jihad Al-Harthi. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our symposium convener, Dr. Kodanda Rahman Chinatambi. Woo! Congratulations. Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Sherwin. Oh. Head of Organizing Committee, Dr. Donald V. Domalaon. Program and Invitation Committee members, Ms. Latha Anandan. Program and Invitation Committee member, Mr. Shokri Ayari. Secretariat, Chair, Ms. Nancy Dalangbayan. Secretariat Member, Ms. Nasra Al-Rawahi. Secretariat Member, Ms. Nadia Mohammed. Secretariat Member, Ms. Zubia Asad. It says plaque of appreciation. Next, for the plaque of appreciation, certificates, and token committee, the chairman, Dr. Donald Dumalaon. Member, Dr. Raji Saju. It's anyway almost done. Yes. Member, Ms. Nisreen Sayed. Member, Ms. Gladys Sulit. Member, Ms. Fatima Montanes. Awards committee. Can I have the next? Okay, who's next?
You can call all of them together.
Okay. For the awards committee, we have Ms. Reem Al-Rawahi. Awards committee member, Ms. Golda Cherian. Okay. Member, Ms. Tuweiba Al-Shabibi. Facilities Committee, members, Mr. Abdurrahman. Mr. Edison Yanzon. Online Registration Committee, Mr. Joseph Aracal Chaco. Ms. Rashida Al-Balushi. Refreshment Committee, Chair, Mr. Asad Hussein. Member, Mr. Joscuti Fadato Joseph. Mr. Naimatullah Khan. I'm sorry? Our HOC, Mr. Salim, is also joining us on stage. Member, Mr. Nasser Al-Shabibi. Mr. Firuz Kalarikal. Moderator Committee, we have Dr. Muhammad Shamek. Yeah, he's not here. Okay. There you have it. Thank you very much, Dr. Youssef, Mr. Salim. Oh, do we have some more? Done. Finish? Once again, thank you very much. And here to give us a vote of thanks, let us all welcome Head of the Center, Dr. Salim Bani Araba.
So that's the end of the, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so that's the end of our event for today. We would like to thank the organizing team, the leadership of, under the leadership of Dr. CK and Dr. Donald for their wonderful organization and wonderful arrangements of this event for today. We know that it is the first time we are organizing such events, and we are considering it's a learning experience, but there are always also room for improvements. We will inshallah meet, reflect, we will meet with Dr. Donald and Dr. CK. We will reflect on what went well and what did not go well, inshallah, for future planning and for future planning of such events. We also would like to thank the college administration, particularly Dr. Youssef, who has been here since the morning with us. We also would like to extend our thanks to the external and internal presenters, Dr. Abdul Salam, who has been also here with us from the beginning of this event, from Ibra, and all the colleagues who participated in the organizing of this event. Inshallah, I asked Mr. Dr. CK to collect all of these presentations and put them in a folder. Then, inshallah, they will be disseminated to all the staff here and maybe also to the other staff in other colleges. Okay? If you have any comments or any feedback, inshallah, we will send you the form later, and then we will welcome your comments. Okay. So that's the end of our events for today. Have a nice weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we go, we are requesting all the presenters to have a group photo, and later on, we are going to have a group photo for all the organizing committee members. And also, we would like to say thank you very much to our ETC technicians for joining us today, for your support, for being the photographers, for your assistance. Once again, we are requesting first the presenters to come forward for a group photo. All the presenters. Also, feedback link will be sent to you later on. Please do not forget to give us your feedback on this event. All the presenters, may we request you guys to please come join us here on stage for a group photo. Time to show us that big smile of yours. May we request all the presenters to come join us on stage for a group photo, please. Of course, with our head of the section, Ms. Jahad. Please come join us. All presenters, please join us. Right after this, we are going to have another group photo with the organizing committee members.